is back after a little hiatus, and we're at Ladybower and we're at a place called Tin Town. As we're walking down to the water's edge, because what we have got today is beautiful still conditions, and that's going to make an interesting shot, if not an awesome shot. Shooting up the valley, both down towards Ladybower, which is that way, and Howden Dam, which is that way. I'm going to get this out of the way with sooner rather than later. On the last few videos I've said, I'm going to tell you why I've not been vlogging well. Life gets in the way, as you know. Things aren't easy for any of us, but it's the good times that outweigh the bad, and that's what makes everything worthwhile. But my dad was very poorly over most of last year, from January until August, and unfortunately passed away in August, which was very, very sad for me personally, because he was a great friend of mine, as well as being a dad, and it was a blessing for him, but it's not so much of a blessing for people that are left behind. So that's the reason I've not been vlogging. The thing that we've got today is that it's grey and it's overcast, and when I was driving over here the weather looked like it was going to improve, but looking over here now I think we're going to just have a dull grey day. So we've got to make the best out of these conditions. I think there are two schools of thought when it comes to landscape photography, one a lot more popular than the other. The biggest school of thought is what you do is you plan for a sunset or a sunrise, and you go out after a meticulous amount of planning and you shoot said sunset and sunrise, and if the conditions aren't good then you go home. And I think that's great, but it does mean that maybe you won't get to use your camera as much as you possibly could. So basically I try and come out, which is the second school of thought, which might be just the Paul Johnson school of thought, but is to come out with a camera, and even if the conditions aren't conducive to an awesome shot, take one anyway and just enjoy the process of photography. Glasses are on and we set composition up. We are shooting directly behind me here towards the second dam as you come up towards Howden Reservoir, and we're shooting 10 stop. So on the camera is a 24-70 lens, and we're shooting a roughly 60mm. We have a Nissi 10 stop filter on the front of the camera, and also the polarizer is set to take some of the glare out of the water. As you all will know anyway, I do enjoy long exposure photography, but I haven't done any in a long time. I've not done any long exposure photography with this camera. What I mean by long exposure is not setting it at 2-3 seconds. I'm talking about long exposure with a filter on the front of the camera. Heard lots of comments about it's the new HDR. No, I don't think it is. I think it's got its place. It's got its place when you want to create mood and you want to create atmosphere. Can be overused, but the reason we've got it on today is that the sky is doing nothing at all, and I'm hoping that we can get a little bit of movement in the sky. But looking at that last composed shot, I don't think we will do. I think this is trying to make a silk purse out of sow's ear. Just checking, we're at 2 minutes 45. I'm going to take it up to 3.5 minutes because the light keeps changing. So that's been cooking for 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Shot straight down the lake, f8, with a 10 stop on the front, as we mentioned. And it's not going to be, wow, that's amazing. But this is going to be a type of shot that you guys will get all the time. And it's types of shots that I get all the time, so enjoy it. We were over there. Oh, we're now here, and I've just chosen this spot because it's close by, it's simple, and it's interesting. I always say this, and I think I've had the mickey taken out of me by other YouTubers where they say, oh well, this isn't quite a portfolio shot and they're all running around. But it isn't. It's not a portfolio shot, but it's a lovely little image because we've got beautiful reflection. Now, I think what is tempting with all of us is we think to ourselves, right, what I'm going to do is it's a beautiful reflection, and it's a beautiful reflection going round the corner there, and I want to take a big shot and I want to get all this in. That'd be great if we had good light and it was still as it is today, but we haven't got good light. So I prefer, and you may disagree with me, I prefer to go a little bit more intimate for the shot. Rather than shooting with a wider angle shot like the one that you can see there, what we're going to do is we're going to bring the camera all the way in and take out the sky and the reflection of the sky that's in the water and bring it all the way in to something like that, which takes a lot of distraction out of the shot because there's a lot of distraction in the shot. Now, what may be subtle for you guys to see on video here is that we do have contrast. So the area in the center of the shot is a light green color, and then we are surrounding that by browns and darkness in the shadows of the trees and the reflections of the trees in the water. Now, I'm shooting here with a 70 to no, I'm not. I'm shooting with a 24 to 70 lens, and I'm at 70mm. The other option you've got is you can shoot it wide angle if you want, but I would recommend it. Other option you've got is to shoot it with a 70 to 200 lens and go right in close and get a nice shot. As regards settings, it really doesn't matter. I mean, just make sure that the shot is well exposed and that you have enough depth of field to make sure that everything is sharp front to back. Now, the thing is because I'm actually shooting with no foreground element, it doesn't really matter. You can shoot at f6, f8, it doesn't really matter, but I am shooting f10. Okay, lowest ISO that your camera will shoot at because everything's dead still, so we're not worried about trees moving and stuff like that. So we're out, happen to be shooting at 1.3 of a second, f10, ISO 64. I want to keep everything as still as possible, so we're in mirror up mode, and we press the button, and that's your shot. Somebody emailed me, nice guy, and said, he didn't email me, he messaged me on Facebook, and he said, how do you stop yourself from running around and shooting like an amateur? And all I said to him is, I run around and shoot like an amateur, because I am. You know, the only people that are professional with photography are the people that do it full time, and 99.999999999% of them shoot weddings as well. So there are very, very few 100% landscape photographers. You know, you can count. There's more Premiership footballers in this country than there is professional landscape photographers. So what I said to him is just slow down. So rather than going click, 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 sit there, find a composition and stick with it. So basically what that means is when you see me here on YouTube and I've set the camera up, and the same with lots of other people as well, is that they may have spent 20 minutes, half an hour, 3 hours looking for that composition that they want. Find one spot and then play with a composition around that spot, and then don't be worried if it don't work. You might be wondering where the dogs are. Yeah, always sold them because they smell. No, really, they're off at the groomers, so they're going for a haircut and they're going to look awesome when they come home. Well, they're not technically at the groomers at the moment, they're going in an hour or two, but if I brought them out here, they would be covered in mud, they would be covered in sticks. They would have to bath them, pull off all the sticks, dry them off, and then take them to the groomers for them to then bath them, cut them, dry them off. So we left them at home. And I must admit, it has been rather relaxing because they're all mad in head. So I'm going home for a cup of tea and a bacon butty. Love you all. Have a great time. Peace.